So guys, here we are, MMA UK News, Stoomboy as always. So usually the MMA UK BJJ show, but as you know, we like to talk about other things. We talk about MMA and so on. Today we're going to be talking about kickboxing. So in specific, obviously my guest today, Rhys Brudenell of Prizefighters official. So Rhys currently signed to Glory Kickboxing, so obviously one of the top promotions in the world for kickboxers. Rhys, number one UK heavyweight kickboxer. So absolutely out there destroying people. I mean, I looked at the records, especially in Glory. I looked at the knockout records. Now, Rhys's knockout records about 80%. So when Rhys is going out there, he's putting people asleep. Do you know what I mean? So and it's one of the highest in Glory kickboxing. One of the highest. I mean, I think there wasn't many over 80% in Glory. So Rhys is definitely in an elite group of people in Glory. So absolutely, I'd say destroying people. I mean, it moves like a lightweight, which is very unusual for heavyweights. I mean, anybody ever sees heavyweights in any sport, any combat sport, whether it be kickboxing, boxing, MMA, they're usually quite slow and sluggish, and they rely on power and stuff like that. Whereas Rhys has got everything. He's got the power. He's got the movement. His technique's unbelievable. So, yeah, he's going to be definitely taking the world by storm this year. So we're definitely buzzing to see. Yeah, we're buzzing to see what you're going to do this year. So, Rhys, listen, absolute pleasure, buddy. Thank you very much for taking the time to speak to me today. Yeah.
No worries.
Your man Ben, obviously Ben put the video up. We saw the video of you, the highlight video where you were out there, and it was an amazing highlight video. I'd say very, very different from a lot of heavyweights. So, I mean, how do you, specifically as a heavyweight, how do you go about your training on a daily basis?
Well, I don't know if I'm any different to any other fighter, but it's just constant, like, especially when I'm fighting that, it's just constant pressure. It's just like fast paced, boom, 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 get in there straight away, straight from the first bell, and and just go from there. And like that's how I fight, and that's how I've always fought, and that's how obviously I'm going to be fighting for the next ones.
Yeah, it's difficult as well. I mean, especially as a heavyweight, it's difficult to find people to train with. I mean, not just obviously in kickboxing, any combat sport. So, I mean, how do you go about, especially if you've got a fight and you're in training camp? I mean, how do you find heavyweights that you're able to spar with and so on?
I was lucky enough to, when I first started, David Zoltacek, he was my training partner, and he was a high level, like number 3 in the country, kickboxing, going all over the world. So I was learning from him, and it's obviously sparring with him. It obviously made me the sort of fighter I was. But now he's moved on. He's sort of retired. Because obviously I still train with him, but it's a bit difficult. I'm having trouble finding training partners and sparring partners, like to obviously use. But it's just a matter about traveling around and finding people, and when they're free, and like balancing it with my work. Obviously I still work, so balancing with that, balance with everything else, and getting my training and everything else in as well around it. But it's sacrifices, but obviously to be the best, you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah. I was going to say that as well, because obviously I know you're still working. You're a construction industry you work in, yeah?
Yeah.
How do you find the balance? How do you find the balance? Because obviously it can be difficult. I mean, especially now, obviously being in Glory, obviously one of the top promotions. So how do you find the balance, obviously the work life and the training life balance? Not just that, but obviously spending time with family and stuff like that.
It's difficult, man. It's like it is difficult, and then it's like, and I'm not like, I haven't got no like perfect formula right now. It's like I've only been signed to Glory this last year. Fighting in the UK, I can sort of get away with not doing like full-time training, but with going to Glory, they're athletes. They're the top of the top. So obviously sponsors help. Obviously some of the sponsors before have obviously helped me knock the work on head and that. But at the moment, and it's like I've just got to get it in as much as I can. When I can, go straight from work straight to the gym to do my 3 hours on there and smash that. And then again, it's hard not to beat yourself up as well, because getting up if I wanted to get up in the morning, I'd be getting up at 4 and going for runs and that. But then I've got to go to work at 6, half 6 to go travel to work. So It's hard, but you just got to try and take it as it comes. But as soon as I get fight news, bang, I'm done. Because work's second to me at the moment. No, I know it's the thing, but that's second to me. This is my life. This is what I want to do. I can always go back to digging holes, groundworking, and all that sort of thing. So, but that's that.
Yeah. It can be difficult, as there. I know, especially like jiu-jitsu. I mean, if we've got big competitions coming up, even like MMA fighters, a lot of the top guys, especially when they go into like some of the top promotion, like one of the guys I know that I trained with, Paul Craig, in the MMA, he was signed to the UFC and he was still working a full-time job while he was in the UFC. So I think it was after his first or second fight that he gave his job up. He was then able to take it full-time. So
and with that, but I've got a lot of support with me as well. See, family support. They just want me to do the best I can. So they like, there's no like, there'll be no question. As a fight comes up, and I'm sitting there like I'm in an hour and about. Obviously, can I stop work? Have I got enough money? They'll back me all the way. I've got a good support system around me to back me all the way.
Yeah. That's brilliant. It's good to have that support network around you, because as I said, a lot of people, they only ever see the fighter. They only ever see the fighter go out there, and they only ever see that 3 or 5 rounds, or whatever many rounds there is. They don't see the training you guys put in. They don't see because it's hard. I mean, it's hard training. It's hard, as you mentioned, financially. Have I got enough money? Can I do this? And so on. So it definitely takes its toll on you, not just physically, but mentally as well.
Yeah, for sure, definitely, man. It is a struggle on that, but it's what you want to do. It's the life you want to live, but it's the dream. You got to chase it, you know.
Definitely. What made you get into kickboxing, especially? Because obviously, again, you mentioned as well. Obviously, I've seen interviews where you took it up quite late. When I say late, I think you were about 18 or something when you started. 18, so, what made you get into kickboxing in specific?
I wasn't really looking to get into kickboxing per se. And obviously, I've always, like, boxing's obviously being from the UK, and that boxing's like the mainstream sport you would get into, and that. So I dabbled with a bit of that, but without starting young, going into amateurs and things like that. So there was a gym, there was a gym we went to, and obviously in Aldershot where Prizefighters is. That's the first one. That's the first one I walked in, kickboxing with Suleiman Raja, and that. And then that was it. Just stuck with that. I couldn't kick for nothing. Throw some hands about, but nothing any sort of quality. But from there, just progressed, and stayed loyal, and I am where I am from it.
Yeah. And the Bruiser, the name as well. I saw the name came from the younger days. Obviously, again, bit of a scrapper when you were in your young age as well. So again, tell us about the Bruiser name.
Oh, that name, it was an old mate of mine's mum. Like, she just come up with it one day. Like, you're just a bruiser, you know what I mean? So that's where it stuck, and from there, and that's where it's come from.
Yeah. And it's definitely fitting. I mean, especially for what you do now as well. I mean, as soon as obviously people hear that Rhys Brudenell Bruiser coming out, they know what's coming. I mean, with that nickname, they know exactly what's coming. And
exactly what's coming.
You definitely deliver. You definitely deliver every single time.
Yeah. Thank you, mate. Thank you.
And then the knockout rate as well. I mean, even when I was putting posts up, I talked about definitely one of the most devastating knockout artists in kickboxing. Not just kickboxing, but I mean across combat sports. I mean, I have an 80%. I think what did I see? It was 15 wins with 12 knockouts. Do you know what I mean? So is that something that you? Because I know that you'll prepare for the fight to go the full distance. Do you know what I mean? You'll do hundreds and hundreds upon rounds every single training camp. But with the knockouts, I mean, is that something you've always had the power? Is that something you've worked on?
Yeah. Well, I've always had the knockout, like the switch off sort of hit and that sort of thing, about to put it. But it's kickboxing. With kickboxing, it's just fast paced, hard action. So when you're going at that pace and you're throwing the bombs, it's just bound to happen. And you're either going to be the winning side or the receiving end of it. So you can't. It is what it is. But that's the way kickboxing is, and that's why it's exciting. That's why that's why I love it.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the purest forms of combat sports out there. that I believe anyway, because obviously MMA, I mean, there's a lot more to MMA, obviously ground game,
Yeah,
stand up, and so on. Boxing, obviously, again, you've got two guys standing toe to toe, punching
yeah,
each other. Whereas kickboxing, I mean, you're not just having to worry about getting punched. Your kicks,
no,
low kicks, high kicks, body
yeah,
kicks. I mean, your thing is the body shot and then the overhand punches,
yeah,
which are absolutely awesome to see.
yeah,
So it's definitely kickboxing, definitely, I believe, one of the purest forms of combat sports out there.
definitely. That's why I love it.
Yeah, yeah. What about 2023 then? So it's been an amazing time so far. I mean, your journey's
Yeah,
been unbelievable to watch. It's been unbelievable to see. But
yeah.
what do you see yourself doing this year going forward?
This year, I'm just looking to get a couple like major wins under my belt. And that last year was a bit of a stagnant year for me. So I lost the first fight in Glory. With obviously all the things what's happened with that, well, obviously I won't go into, but I know where I've gone wrong, what happened, like my body, all this sort of thing, and I've improved. And and this year's just about redeeming myself on the world stage. I know I'm good enough to be on there, so now I've just got to prove it to the world, just to prove it to them that I'm able to be on this stage. I'm not like out of my depth,
Yeah,
and from there I'm just. And again, I've got a lot of things I've got to do. I've got to improve my like my image on the social media. I know it's not really my sort of thing, all the social media bit, but in this sort of day and age, I've got to get the videos, get everything on there, build my profile up as well. So I've got to start working on that, and I'm but more than that, I've got to smash this year, smash a couple of fights, and hopefully start earning some major money. You know what I mean? Yeah.
yes, yes. The money's good. The money's good. As I say, the money definitely
Yeah,
comes in handy. So, and
definitely.
it allows you as well. I mean, if obviously you decide you do want to turn not to take it and make it full
Yeah.
time, obviously to have
Yeah, I'm
obviously
not
the
greedy in
money.
that. I just want
Yeah,
to be able to do what I love to do.
yeah,
And but with that, I've got that's what I'm saying. I've got to push the social media sort of side of things, and that'll build my profile, and like, it's all going to work in together. I've got it all. I've got it all planned in my head. I just got to put the wheels in motion. This is beginning of the year now, and I've started off good. Started off training hard, so I'm just ready to go.
yeah, yeah. That's a good thing about having obviously a management team, because obviously Ben
Yeah,
and so on, having them behind you, because obviously
yeah,
they're able to do a lot of stuff and like set up whether it
definitely.
be interviews and do a lot of social media stuff, put
Yeah,
videos together and stuff like that. So it's always brilliant having a management team. How important is it for you to have somebody like Ben and doing everything or doing a lot of stuff for you in the
yeah.
background?
Like me and Ben only just like end of last year, this year, I only started working together. He just jumped on the management team, and from there, he's just been full on non-stop, post, getting building it all up. And
Yeah,
obviously, I've been a bit thing. It's hard for I can't like to get videos and that. It's like I'm just there training. I mean, I'm never really thinking, "I get this video of this and this." He's saying, "I need
yeah,
footage. I need this," but I'm going to help him out, and I'm going to done, and obviously I'm going to get it done for him because
yeah,
he's doing all his time to trying to push my image.
yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah,
Nah, it is important. I mean, having somebody there in the background, because obviously you as a fighter, or anybody as a fighter, your
yeah,
main focus should really be on training, fighting.
yeah,
Do you know what I mean that make sure you're eating right, making sure that you're doing
yeah,
everything you need to do for fight day. So to have other people in the background, whether it be friends or family or as you said, like management teams and so on, it is quite important. So it's important for every fighter to have somebody there that's able to do a lot of that stuff for them. So, and Ben's doing it. Ben's doing an absolutely
yeah. He's
brilliant
doing a
thing.
blinding job. Yeah, you know
Yeah,
that.
yeah. So definitely hats off to Ben and obviously the
Yeah,
management team over there. So, what about you then? Final thing then. So obviously been in the game for a good. Well, let's say before I ask this, who's your dream fight? Who would you? I mean, you're in a division in Glory where we're talking about some of the best kickboxers of all time. I mean, you're
yeah,
talking about Rico, champion. You're talking about Alistair Overeem. You're talking about Badr Hari. Do you know what
yeah,
I mean? And these are guys that'll go down and that are going to be
yeah. You
legendary,
know that.
absolute
100%.
legendary at the moment. But who would you love to be standing in front of in a fight?
Uh, I ain't like to be honest. I'm not a sort. I'd love, obviously, all dreams come true, be the champ, obviously. But
Yeah.
I'm just gonna I just want to fight and smash someone up in Glory, like anyone that can have it. You know what I mean? So I ain't too fussed which one it is, but I just need to get it done, get it in this year, and just get the ball rolling.
Yeah. Brilliant. Oh, listen, we're buzzing to see you. As I said, I love the footage videos, all the footage videos that are coming out. I've watched a few of your fights over the last kind of month or so, and do you know what I mean? Definitely. Do you know what I mean? I don't watch a lot of kickboxing. I do. Obviously, I know some kickboxers in Scotland. But when I do watch kickboxing, I absolutely love it because, do you know what I mean? It's all, as you said, it's all action, and you're. Mate, you're just on another level for me. Do you know what I mean? Especially in comparison to some of the kickboxers we've got here in Scotland or even in the UK. I mean, you're definitely the top of the tree. You're the guy and one day, not even fingers crossed, I know it's going to happen. One day you're going to be the champ. Do you know what I mean? You're going to be the Glory Kickboxing heavyweight champion. So, and then you'll be legendary at that point. You'll be all-time Hall of Famer at that point. So we're definitely looking forward to that. Final thing then, Rhys, anybody you want to shout out to? Any friends, family members, teammates, sponsors, anything that you may have?
My team, obviously, Prizefighters. They always have like Sullivan Raja, my coach, and he's always got my back. Me and him have been together all the way through this, and we will go all the way to the top. Like my family, they know what they mean to me, all my friends and family and that. But my sponsor, Athletic UK, they're sponsoring me at the moment. Like, and then obviously anyone else wants to jump on board, I'm gonna be the next big thing, obviously. So yeah, jump on board now.
Definitely. So, guys, anybody wants to get in contact with Rhys as well, I mean, you can get in contact in a couple of different places. Obviously, you got Facebook, just search Rhys Brudenell. Obviously, the Facebook page is up. Also on Instagram, even if you just type in Bruiser, BRUZA. As I say, there's only one Bruiser on Instagram. And that's Rhys Brudenell. So definitely hit him up on Instagram, and also the management team, Ben Poulter MMA. So anybody that's got any questions or anything like that you want to ask Ben about Rhys, then feel free to hit them up as well. And Prizefighters Official. Check out their Instagram page as well. Absolutely awesome setup they have. And yeah, I mean, it's going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome 2023. I mean, Rhys is, as I say, number one guy in the UK, number one heavyweight in the UK. Obviously, Glory Kickboxing. 2023 is going to be an amazing time. I'd say one or two fights can potentially put you in the top 10 as well.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping, man. One or two big fights, and that's it. I'm going to get right on the radar.
Yeah. Well, listen, I'm looking forward to seeing what you're going to do this year. As I said, don't watch a lot of kickboxing, but after seeing some of your stuff, I'm going to start watching just you, mate, just you. So, but Rhys, listen, absolute pleasure, buddy. Thank you very much for taking the time to speak to me this afternoon.
No, that's great, man. Thank you for having me.
All right, listen, enjoy the rest of your day, buddy, and we'll speak soon, all right?
So speak to you soon.
Take care, buddy.